If you're a creator, you already know how important high-quality motion graphics are for keeping viewers' attention. The problem? Video editing can get really expensive really fast, especially if you're on a tight budget. Furthermore, if you don't have any design skills, that just makes things worse. Because now you're looking at having to spend countless hours learning complicated software, all while paying for expensive subscriptions, which leaves a lot of creators feeling frustrated, stuck, and not sure where to start. But today, I want to introduce you to a platform that lets you create professional-looking motion graphics all from a simple prompt. The best part is it only takes a few minutes to create, they're easily editable, and make your videos look professionally made. The name of the platform is Hera. With Hera, you can create 2D animations, 3D motion graphics, and custom infographics, all from a super friendly design interface. In this video, we'll walk you through how Hera works, looking at the pros and cons of the service, and offering my honest review at the end. To get started, head over to hera.video and sign up for a free account. The free trial will give you a very limited number of video generations, but it's enough to give you an overall idea of how things work. After you sign in, you'll be brought to the screen. As you can see, the design is very clean and the layout is very intuitive. To begin, you want to start off by choosing the dimensions of your project. Depending on which platform you're making a video for, you can choose from widescreen, vertical, square, or portrait. You can also choose the length of the video, anything from 5 seconds all the way up to a minute. Next, you have a few options when creating your video. For example, you can use a text prompt or upload an image, video, or SVG reference. Furthermore, you can also upload audio, custom fonts, CSV files as well. At the bottom of the box is a small library with some ready-made prompts that let you create specific types of assets. If you don't want to start from scratch, you can also use Hera's template gallery, which lets you choose and customize from already existing projects. We'll look at some of these later, but for now, let's keep things moving and use the text prompt because it's the most commonly used option. To begin our first project, let's say you want to create an infographic about how the stock market works. All right, most people will start off by typing in simple instructions like create a candlestick chart showing the movement of a stock price over time. But one of the cool things about Hera is this enhanced prompt button, because if you're not great at writing prompts, it'll take your prompt and expand it out, giving Hera deeper, designer-level instructions and more context to work off of. Before you generate your project, it's a good idea to review the prompt to make sure everything's accurate. Now, the part you need to be ready for is it may take Hera a few minutes to create everything, so just be patient. Okay, our video is complete, and how about we play it? All right, not off to a bad start. For the sake of illustration, let's say we're happy with the way the video turned out. You can export your video in the upper right-hand corner. Notice you can download the video in various resolutions, if you want a transparent background or not, the video format, and the frame rate that best fits your project. But let's say we aren't happy with the first go-around and want to edit the project. Now here's where Hera really starts to shine, and that's its ability to easily make changes to the graphic you just created. All right, in full disclosure, the editing process may be a bit clunky and not the smoothest of things, but overall it works. For example, here's a video for an upcoming video about zip files. Now, to edit the video, you can use the tools that are right up here. Editing your video is really just a matter of clicking on what you want to edit and making your edits using the move, size, and delete icon or this point and prompt feature, which lets you click on a specific item and type your changes directly into the box. If you really want to go deep with editing, over here in the lower right-hand corner is this Layers button, which will open a panel on the left. At this point, you can now do very detailed edits. But something that might catch you off guard is some graphics may have a transparent layer that's hard to see, and that makes some things difficult to select. For example, if you try to click on this speech bubble, notice it's not cooperating. But if you look close enough, you can see a small circle in the middle or on the edges. That's your cue. You need to drag the top layer out of the way or delete it entirely. Once that's taken care of, you can then click on the item you want and make your changes. Say, for example, change the wording, the font type, color, padding, and so on. Or if you want Hera to do all the work, over here on the left, you can type in any changes that you want and submit them. Side note, one thing I've noticed is Hera has a tendency to apply a design style for you. For example, for whatever reason, it likes to apply this organic modern style. So to avoid that, when you're starting a new project, as you type in your original prompt, click on this Select a Style button and choose the one that best fits the vibe of the video you're trying to create. For example, as of the making of this video, glass morphism is a pretty popular style. But if that's not your thing, that's okay. You can go through the gallery and choose a style you like. Alright, let's change gears a bit and look at some other ways you can create motion graphics. Starting from the main design screen. This image reference option lets you upload still images, and Hera will do its best to recreate it. You can also upload specific icons you want to include in your videos as well. For instance, I can upload the still image of a progress bar, ask Hera to recreate it, but change it from a neon green into a neon purple, and change the text from perfect match to scan complete. Another cool feature is the video reference. The way it works is you can upload a video or copy in a link from YouTube, and then ask Hera to recreate certain portions of the video. Now, here is one of the areas that Hera tends to struggle. The results may not be 100% accurate, and you might need to go through a couple generations. Moving on, let's take a look at this ready-made library section. This area comes in handy if you already know what type of asset you want to create. For example, let's say you're running an ad for your product. If you click on the Ads button, you have a few options, and let's go with Call to Action. Notice Hera has put in the prompt for us. Now, we just need to modify things to the way we want, and choose a style if applicable. Next up, let's take a look at some of Hera's built-in templates that you can choose and modify with ease. Starting at the top, you can see the various categories you can choose from, like infographics, text, overlays, and so on. Now, as you explore things, it's a safe bet you'll probably see some of the infographics that look similar to some of the ones you've seen before. Okay, the way it works is you can choose a template, then ask Hera to make changes to it. For example, let's go with this text animation. We'll start by clicking on the Use Template button. From here, we can make our changes manually using the editing techniques we saw earlier. But instead, let's put Hera in the hot seat to see how well it performs by asking it to do the following. Change the text that reads, "Know which participants are at risk" to "Please like and subscribe." Change the red X to a green circle with a green check mark. And the line about the 21 participants, change it to "Thank you very much. I really appreciate it." Let's go ahead and submit that and see what we get. All right, things are complete, so let's take a look. And yes, it seems like Hera did get everything correct, so that's a plus. However, let's not fool ourselves. Hera does occasionally struggle with making changes, so that's one thing to keep in mind as you evaluate the platform. Okay, so does Hera live up to the hype? Overall, I'll give the platform a solid B+. Hera does a really good job at creating very simple, low-tech motion graphics. If you're just starting out and looking for a motion graphic creator that won't break the bank, Hera is something to consider because the motion graphics you create are just as good as designs you'd have to pay for, and the quality is more than sufficient to get you started. But sure, over time as you grow, moving on to a higher paid video editor would definitely make sense. Now, as you saw, the editing process can be a bit clunky, and the AI doesn't always get things right. So you might find yourself going through a couple generations, or just giving up because the project is too complex. Hera can be inconsistent, and sometimes simple requests may not work out too well. Furthermore, sometimes when you make a change, it may completely rework your project and make it unusable. But that said, taking all the pros and cons into consideration, Hera is definitely a solution to consider, especially if you lack design skills and the funds to hire a designer. Because yes, Hera does let you create motion graphics that have a polished, professional look, all without having to spend a fortune.